Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky15, and in this video I'll be giving you my Lucky15 predictions for tomorrow's horse racing action. As usual here on the channel, before we get stuck into those, just reflecting on how today's selections ran. Unfortunately we didn't have any winners today, but we had a few decent efforts. Mamet's Wood I thought was quite a game performance to finish second at 9-1, so that wouldn't have been a bad each way one there. I thought Zane Hanna for Ryan Moore and Jeremy Nacida was a little bit frustrating, got going a little bit too late, and in the end finished in third place. Framley Garth, however, was disappointing, was prominent, but then in the end couldn't really deliver and keep going. And also as well, kind of same story for Fleetfoot Jack. Was prominent and looking very well, but then when push came to shove was just outpaced, and in the end could only muster fifth place. So a little bit frustrating today, but if you had a couple of each way bets maybe on Mamet's Wood, you would have done alright there. But yeah, away from that, it wasn't really good for a lot of people today. I did actually have a few cheeky bets, unfortunately, that would have got you some decent profits at 10-1. And also as well at 6-1, and I actually had the Godolphin runner at Leicester, which got the placings reversed with the Luca Kamani winner in the end. So good thing maybe I didn't tip you that one, but if your bookmaker paid first past the post, that's how it would have been. But yeah, sorry about that, but hopefully we can improve tomorrow. We start tomorrow with a bit of jump action, and there's a really good jump card at Warwick tomorrow, and we start in the first race there in the 220, and I'm going for a horse here called Wait for Dave. Now this one is around about 11-4 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Dan Skelton, who's a master of getting these horses that don't really show too much for other yards. It used to be over in Ireland, and since he's had this horse, it's had 2 wins from 6 starts for him, so it's been a pretty good horse for him. However, tomorrow it is going to be carrying a penalty, but they've booked a promising conditional rider, William Marshall, who's going to be taking a good £7 here. So really that penalty's been wiped off, and this horse won at Fontwell last time in very good commanding style, quite easily in the end, and the form of that race has worked out quite well with the horse of Martin Keithley, Lord Condé winning at Plumpton yesterday, so the form of that race has worked out quite well. Also as well, Wait for Dave wasn't favourite that day at Fontwell and did a good performance to really assert its authority. Now I could see this one going really well tomorrow. Warwick is also as well a good track where the Skeltons have got a good decent record at, and I'm expecting a good performance from this one tomorrow, and I think it can currently overturn the Nicky Henderson favourite, so that's going to be the selection there. We then have to wait at Warwick for a couple of hours for our next selection in the 405 with a horse called Lilian. Now this one is around about 7-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Seamus Mullins, who had a pretty decent year last year. I think it was his best season ever. One of his conditional riders that he often uses is Kevin Jones, who's taken off £5 here. Now this horse ran at Newton Abbot last time when it finished in 5th place in fair handicap, and it's dropping a couple of classes tomorrow. The winner of that race was David Pipe's Time for Ben, and that had some strong form with a horse of Tom Lacey's called Vivian, and Vivian subsequently went on to complete a hat-trick of wins that we tipped up last week on the punters page, who we do a bit of work for, by winning at Hexham to round off that hat-trick. So really Lilian came into a good race that day at Newton Abbot, and if you actually look at this race as a whole tomorrow, there's still quite a few in here that we don't know how they're going to be over the extra distance, and we know Lilian stays in day out, and with the £5 claim going to be carrying a nice low racing weight tomorrow, and I thought really could maybe bounce back to some form. Hasn't shown too much this season, but has had a few forgivable reasons why she hasn't run well. So for me, this good mare can get back to winning ways tomorrow. We then go up to Yorkshire for the 5 o'clock at Beverley with a horse called Minovia, around about 11-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Hugo Palmer. Clifford Lee's booked for the ride in the colours of John Dance, who you normally associate with Lawrence. Now the reason I quite like this horse's chances tomorrow is for a variety of reasons. Firstly is the ground. It's shown its best form on softest ground so far, and the current ground is described as Beverley as soft. So going back to soft ground tomorrow I thought would suit Minovia. She came third when she ran at Thirsk back in August on soft ground, so that was good there. Also as well, she's been tried a variety of different trips, and her best trip when she's made the frame has been over a mile, and it's dropping back to a mile tomorrow, and I thought 11-1 1 in this field with conditions we know it can go well on. I thought 11 to 1 could be maybe a bit of a player, maybe could be well backed as well. Hugo Palmer wouldn't send too many up to Beverley, so definitely got to take this one on board tomorrow. Also as well, I thought really with the colours of John Dance, who's a good serious horse racing owner, he would want to see this horse go well. So I thought Minovia tomorrow, 11 to 1, could be maybe a bit of a gamble on there developing as we go into tomorrow's race. And we then finish this video with a bit of all weather action in 5:45 at Chelmsford with a horse called So High Class. It's run about 15 to 2 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Marco Botti. Mark Monaghan is booked for the ride, taking a good £3 off. Now this horse won at Kempton last time where they used the blinkers for the first time, and it won really comfortably that day, over 7 furlongs. And I thought this horse tomorrow could maybe keep up its winning ways. It's going as well up in trip to a mile, and I think that will suit it tomorrow. It's got not a bad draw as well towards the inside. You need to be drawn towards the inside if you can at Chelmsford, as it's a very tight, twisty, turny track, and I thought tomorrow So High Class still was quite well handicapped off a mark of 71, and I wouldn't be surprised if the blinkers could have another positive effect and see this horse be bang in contention. So that's going to be the final selection that rounds off this video. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button. Also as well, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is at Lucky15. You can also follow my work on the punters page, just type them in, or follow me on Twitter and you'll see the links to my work. So go and check them out if you haven't done so already. And that's all I've got to say, so please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.